So many women are trying to cut back on added sugar, and low-calorie sweeteners are often the go-to solution, right? They add sweetness with few or no calories to sodas and sports drinks, ice creams, even protein powders. But have you stopped to consider if they're safe? Studio 5 health contributor Miki Eberhardt joins me to chat about 5 popular sweeteners on the market right now, and these are, I'm guessing, in more products than we even realize.
Oh, yes. Yes. And I think the beauty of it is they're finding different ways to mix them so things taste a lot better with them in it. I don't know if you remember the old like blue equal packet or the sweet and low, right? It was just like, we just had a couple things and you just added it to things. And now, good old food science, they're figuring ways to make things taste better with them.
We're going to get into each one, but overall, Miki, what are people scared of when it comes to sugar-free options?
I wish they were scared of misinformation, but I think in the end, it's probably the big C word, cancer, which we see in some rat studies and things like that, that the thing with a lot of these is you can probably find a study that said what you want it to say. And so that's where someone's going to take that tidbit and run with it, and someone's going to take something else. So.
Mark's a data guy. He's a tech guy, and he often quotes, and I'll butcher it, but he'll say, you can press the data to tell you anything you want it to tell you.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I am a straight-up Coke drinker, and whenever I cough up that confessional to health experts like yourself or medical experts like my doctor, they always say, what would you say if I said I drink regular Coke?
It depends on how much.
Well, okay, what if I said a reasonable amount?
Fine.
Better?
Different.
Different. Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes,
all right.
And we can talk about that.
Okay, let's start with the opposite of that. What's in Diet Coke?
Okay, so this is aspartame, right? And this is in all your brown bubblies and most other diet sodas. And I think the latest on this, Brooke, which is really great, is because aspartame is the most researched sugar substitute that's out on the market today. And what happened, because we go ahead.
Can I ask, is that because it's been around for so long, or is that because it's so prevalent?
Both.
Okay.
Because people love their diet soda. And it has been around the longest.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, NutraSweet was the brand name way back in the day. But what they have found, so we do have all of these studies with aspartame, and some of them are showing, oh, it caused cancer in rats when we gave them 2 times their body weight in aspartame. Okay, how does that translate to human studies? I'm not taking in 2 times my body weight in aspartame. They got this group together, and I'm going to tell you what it is. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is part of the World Health Organization. They gathered in July of 2023. They took every study that had been done on aspartame and went through it all with a fine-tooth comb to come up with their recommendations based off of all the research. And what they said was, we are deeming aspartame possibly carcinogenic. Let me give that it has the potential to cause liver cancer, but also noted that chance, bias, or confounding could also explain the results, which means it also could just happen not because of the aspartame. I want to explain this possibly carcinogenic, because I think this can get blown out of proportion. We have carcinogenic, which is alcohol, tobacco. We know these things cause cancer. We have probably carcinogenic, which is red meat is in this category. High oil temps for frying, okay, probably. Possibly is the next one. And that's where they're putting aspartame. And so at the same time, there was another group that met that has to do, I'm going to give you the name on this one too, so we have all the information. The Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives, also part of the World Health Organization, they took that information and said, we're not going to change our recommendation on this. The recommendation stays 18 milligrams per pound of body weight per day is considered safe.
We feel okay about that.
Which is about 9 to 13 cans of diet soda, Brooke. If someone's taking in over 100 ounces of diet soda, regular soda, why are we having that much in one day?
But that's not unreasonable to what women are drinking.
And so that's where we need to, I don't want to say get rid of it. If I go to lunch with you, I'm going to have a Diet Coke with a lemon in it, right? But I also am going to make sure I'm getting my sleep and I'm fueling my body with good nutrition, that I'm not using the aspartame to get through the day.
And yet I'll note, we'll throw up this graphic to summarize this topic once again. Bottom line from you is, if possible, avoid.
Yeah, and that's just because it's possibly carcinogenic. So no one's going to say, get your Diet Coke in to have a healthy day.
All right.
So I'm just going to follow the research there. If there's another choice of a beverage that has a different sweetener in it, and you like it, choose it.
Does it affect men and women differently?
So in this whole summary that they did, they found that men had a little bit higher likelihood of having that liver cancer and some other couple cancers than women.
Okay, let's go to stevia. Give us the spill on this.
Stevia is a great product. This comes from a plant in South America, and there's kind of 4 different properties they'll pull from it. So sometimes you'll see different ones like Reb A, O, M. They're all under the umbrella of stevia, and they're kind of finding ways to manufacture those that they taste better, not as much of an aftertaste, but they are often mixed with other sweeteners because it does have that bitter aftertaste. Rats that were fed a really high dose of stevia did not show signs of tumors. So in general, stevia is a safe choice.
It's safe, natural safe.
Yep.
Monk fruit.
Yeah, this one is really gaining speed.
I've read some things, not in great detail, but I've heard
so
something.
It's a fruit that's grown in the southern part of China. It's about the size of a lemon. It looks like it's like a Kelly green color. But they take the properties of that, and it's sweet. And Chinese medicine has used it for a long time as a cough suppressant. But monk fruit is considered GRAS, which stands for Generally Recognized as Safe. And the FDA has no issues with that title for what it is. So the bottom line with monk fruit, it appears to be safe. We don't have a ton of research on it, but it has been around for a long time.
Let's go to sugar alcohols. I'm going to let you say this as the professional.
Erythritol.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Sugar alcohols are a property. Well, they're neither sugar nor booze. It's neither of those. It's a compound that it acts like a carbohydrate, but it's not. And so because of that, erythritol, I would say, is the safest of the umbrella of sugar alcohols, meaning it is absorbed in your small intestine more than the others, which are large intestine. So if anyone's ever had a really bad experience with sugar alcohol where they needed to run to the bathroom very quickly, it likely was one of those other ones. So erythritol is safe, it's sweet, it is unlikely to cause GI issues, but in quantities that may be more than what, a few grams a day, it may cause some GI distress.
Okay, this next one I'm also going to let you pronounce. You equipped professional.
This has 2 ways. Acesulfame potassium or acesulfame potassium.
We see this in protein powders, some diet drinks, and also sugar-free syrups, which caught my attention. A lot of women think they're making a good choice when they pull through the drink line.
Fruits. In their drinks.
Taroni's sugar-free.
So this one, it's the shortened version. We call it ACE-K. Potassium is K on the periodic table, so nobody wants to say acesulfame. But this one does have some of those, it has a couple studies where the rats got cancer. Having said that, the studies were done poorly. It doesn't give us great insight. Definitely more research needs to be done on this, but because there are other safer ones, this is kind of one of those, if there's another alternative, I would choose that. Be mindful of the amount as well. So with protein powders, I used to buy one and I didn't realize, but it was in there. And now there's so many other choices.
You switched?
I switched.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. So
there's other ones that taste just as good that don't have it in there.
Worth the consideration.
Yeah.
So circling back to my Coke question, my real sugar question. Overall, what's our safest bet here? What's the rule of thumb?
The rule of thumb is, in general, junk food is junk food is junk food, right? And so thinking, if you prefer the taste of regular soda and you still have this wide variety of fruit and vegetables and all of these other foods, Brooke, enjoy the real soda.
But you're not going to say real sugar better than fake sugar.
No, I'm not. I think when someone has diabetes, this is a game changer because this is helpful for chronic disease.
Yeah.
But sometimes we go down the fake sugar so much that sometimes a little bit of the real thing can taste really good and we can move on from it.
It satisfies, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Miki, this was super informative. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.